With the 8th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Egor Demin from Moscow and Brigham Young University.
For me, I have no doubt I'm going to be a solid shooter, and I'm seeing myself as a really good shooter in the future, just because I know how much I put into this, how much I put into the work to become one.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher and Rage. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Nets Kingdom 1. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. Also, make sure you check out our playlist. Hit playlist, and then you'll go down and you'll see our scouting reports. We're going to break down Egor Demin today. We're going to break down basically not the scouting report, but basically how he's going to fit into the Nets. You know, we drafted him at 8. But if you want the deep dive into Egor, go to our playlist, hit that scouting report. So, Egor Demin, man, how you guys feeling about this 8th pick? Did Sean reach here? What was your really honest reactions after? I want your guys' honest reactions, like when you guys found out on stream, and then you took a couple days and thought about it. Like, did it change or did it kind of settle in? Because I see Nets Twitter gaslighting themselves, like Russian Magic Johnson, Luka Doncic. I see, at first I saw Nets fans crashing out. But then after that, I'm a couple days after I came back on Twitter, and it's like Russian Magic, Russian Hallie. So what would you guys, what would you guys take so far? Has it settled in?
Simply, wow. I mean, instantly, I was shocked after the pick. A few days after, was still shocked. I mean, Egor really do like as a prospect, always have kind of, a 6'9" guard. It's kind of hard not to really top tier, just kind of, IQ level passing.
Yeah.
But 8, we picked him at 8. We all thought that it was going to be either Fierce or Kamon for the most part. We were hoping Ace, but he didn't fall. He went to the Jazz out of kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was purely shocking. Like I said, love Egor as a prospect, but it was definitely a reach, to put it to say the least. Shocking.
Go ahead, Saif. Did the Egor settle in yet, or?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm disappointed to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start off with a positive. I would have been fine with the pick if they had done what was rumored, and they had traded up for another lottery pick and gotten a Senge or Carter Bryant. Then I'd be like, okay, they took big swings on 2 tall guys. I understand what the theory of what they could have done, but the problem is they really did reach for Egor. They must have saw something that nobody else did, because based off the way he played at BYU and some of the international tournaments, it's he just has trouble playing basketball.
Yeah.
The Josh Giddey comp, we've comped him before. We made the video to Josh Giddey. He struggles to score in the half court. He's a better player in transition. The 3-point shot is really bad. I think he shot 27% from 3.
Yes.
70% from the free throw line. That's me rounding up, by the way. He struggled, and overall from the field too, 41% from the field. He just struggled to play, and it's just hard to really envision him having a really high ceiling unless he develops multiple dimensions to his offensive game.
Yeah, because to me, it's when I ask myself, I'm like, did Sean really think, was his upside worth gambling at number 8? With everything that was there, we saw Malawach there, we saw Senge there, we saw Carter Bryant, was his upside really worth gambling at 8? Because I think a lot of teams were going to pass on Egor, and the reason why the whole NBA draft community is kind of trashing us, everybody's laughing at us. I think Egor is a very tricky kind of gamble, because his floor could be out of the league low, and then his ceiling could be Russian Magic Johnson or Tyrese Haliburton. I think Sean in his head saw, because everybody's comparing, okay, Sean was watching the finals and he saw the Haliburton point guard, lead guard. He saw the pass first point guard, and you surround them with wings that could defend and shoot and play shoot, dribble, pass. He saw that, and I think probably fell in love and tried to recreate this during the draft. But in my thing, I'm if you really loved Yegor that much. You had so much ammo that you could have picked 8. Somebody like a play finisher like Kaman or Senge and double dipped and got Yegor at 14, 15, in my opinion, because I think Yegor would have still been there with the teams are pretty scared. And like I said, the consensus was he was going to be a late lottery, some 19. So it's like, I don't think he would have been picked if they double dipped. If they really wanted him that bad, I think you trade that. You trade the double dip.
I don't know if that's really viable because like look, again, we don't know what the offers were. Like this could very well just be a failure on Marks, but like we saw what it took for the Pelicans to move up in the draft.
Yeah.
Like they had to give a 2026 unprotected first to move up, I think 10 spots.
Right.
Which to me, look, if that was the asking price that the Spurs had, or like the Heat had, sorry, not the Heat, the Bulls had,
right,
then it's like, okay, I understand why you couldn't do it. Like the asking price was too high. Unless you were able to package like all your later picks into a second lottery, in which case they should have done it. To me, with Igor, I don't know. You said Russian Magic Johnson, Tyrese Haliburton.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, the only reason we're saying that is because he is tall. He's tall and he passes the ball well. Like,
yeah, he's the best passer to draft. Side, he's the best passer to draft.
That's but here's the thing, though. He's just like the reason why he was so controversial as a player is because he was really bad at kind of everything else.
Yeah.
Like I don't like saying the Haliburton comment because Haliburton was like really good in college.
Yeah.
Like Haliburton shot 40% from 3 in college and over 80% from the free throw line. And like he was like a good half court creator and he could like score.
Yeah.
The problem here with Igor is that like he just struggles to really score on the half court. Like he can't create. He doesn't have the physical strength to create separation.
Yeah.
Couldn't really get to the rim. Really good passer in the pick and roll, but the scoring wasn't there. He shot 35% from mid range, 27% from 3, 66 from the rim, which is good, but he only got to the rim like maybe 60, 70 times.
Yeah.
So he just struggled to get there. Now, the ceiling, like okay, the ceiling is theoretically there because he is tall. Like he is 6'10" with shoes, I believe.
Yeah.
In order for him to like really develop his game, like he does need to, because I think in the last video we did about him, I said the highest comp for him was like Franz Wagner. And that was me like being really generous because in order for him to become Franz Wagner, he doesn't even need the 3-point shot, but he needs to become a legitimate post-up threat. He needs to become a better driver, a scoring driver. He needs to become a much better cutter. Like he needs to develop like multiple dimensions to his game that he just doesn't have at this moment.
Yeah. For advantage creation, and I'll let Rage go real quick. The advantage creation is the most important part for Yegor to me because his ability to create an advantage and get downhill, I think you could work on getting stronger. Like I said, there's skills trainers out there that will work on your quads. They'll work on you getting low. You have to get leverage and get angles so you can get downhill. That's our biggest gripe on Yegor. How does he score as a lead initiator, lead guard in this NBA? So if he works on that and works on his handle, then that's when I'm like, okay, I can build around this. Do you think, let me ask you, Rach, too, like, do you think Sean drafted Yegor as like, okay, this guy's going to be the face of the franchise? Is he going to be the guy we build around? Like, what were your thoughts on, do you think Sean's building around Yegor for the future?
I think there's definitely a big potentiality of that. I mean, if you're picking 8, I'd like to hope that that's a guy that you're trying to make a franchise guy. And ultimately with Yegor too, like we've also see with other prospects as well, like that Sean likes to draft, like Noah Clowney and Dariq Whitehead, but as most recent, like 2 guys that really like either like, you know, you're really kind of weighing on potential. Same with Yegor, or like, you know, in also too, like a lot of like unpolished parts of their game that they need to get better at, or they don't even have at all. You know what I mean? So it's another guy that we're not only weighing off of potential and what he could be, but also to like, you know, there's honestly a kind of versatile like way with Yegor you can go, because ultimately, as much as I do think he is a point guard and we should develop around him, he does have that potential to be a 3, a Franz Wagner at a level like that. And if he can be at a Franz Wagner type of level and be a 3, which is a possibility, obviously, at a 6'9", 6'10" type of like height. I mean, that's beautiful. But like I said, I would love to be able to see him as just a lead guard. And like you said, being able to just get good downhill and being able to create an advantage. And ultimately with the shot, man, it's hoping that it can just get consistent at the next level. He's proven in college he's not that scared to shoot. But can it get good at the next level? Can he, like you said, create an advantage, be able to get a step back, be able to drive downhill? Like, that's the question with him. And that'll ultimately make him either a point guard or a small forward.
What do you guys think his bigger swing skill is? Is it the shooting or is it the handle and getting stronger? What's more important to you, like right away, with Yegor's development? Like, what's the first thing you think like he has to? Because Franz Wagner, I think the frame and I think the body, but it's like I compare Yegor more to Hallie because I know Hallie's kind of more slight of frame, more slender, but again, like Hallie, he's more of a pass first. Like you don't think Hallie can get his 20 and 30 off some games, but like most of the time Hallie's keeping it to like 15, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. Like that's where I see Yegor's ceiling, like some that type of player. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think his bigger swing skill is? Is it just shooting or is it the advantage creation? Your opinions?
I'd probably lean towards that advantage creation because I think ultimately once you have that level of being able to get downhill and have that IQ, like everything is much easier because ultimately too, Yegor is a guy that they're probably going to start to leave open in the beginning of the season. So that shooting should be able to come. Like as important as the shooting is, and like I said, it'll kind of be important as if he's going to be a point guard or a small forward or not. Same kind of with the pace. But like ultimately, like when you're able to create like advantages like that, you're going to be able, like shooting is going to be easier. And if they're already like pressing you at the 3, like that makes creating an advantage much more important, which is almost all the time. You got to think about it. Like if you're not going to just be left open, you have to figure out a way to score.
Yeah. Because they're going to go under that screen when they, first pick and roll, you're going to go under. They're going to say, Yegor, you got to prove to us that you can shoot. And he's got to be confident. Unlike the Ben Simmons comps that we see on Twitter, he's got to have to shoot that thing, when they go under the screen, because you got to show them I'm willing to take it and I got to knock it down, or they're not going to respect it, and they're going to shrink that defense. So my next question is for y'all with Yegor, right? So we saw that Sean, this is what, and I'm rooting for Yegor, right? And then all my like frustration and anger is not on any of these prospects. Like these videos we're going to criticize, but it's really about how Sean drafted, because he doubled down on 3 guards, right? So my issue is when you play, like you're taking away development from these guys because they need on-ball reps. So it's like, who's gonna lead the show? Because you drafted Yegor, you drafted Nolan, and you drafted Ben Saraf, and those guys are all lead guards. They need the ball to create, and they need the ball to like develop. So it's like you're gonna end up putting one guy on the wing, one guy has to play off ball. So, and they all really are struggling at shooting. So it's like my issue is if you take Yegor and try to put him as a wing, because he could be a wing because of his height and his frame, and he could probably survive on defense because he has really long arms and he's 6'9", almost 6'10". He can survive on defense. Like he's not the best defender. He'll probably get cooked, but he can survive. But my issue is if you put him on that wing, you're taking away his gift, and his elite supreme skill is passing. So how do you guys feel about it? Go ahead, Sai. How do you guys feel about that?
Oh, dude, like you got to the thing I was gonna say. Like, the biggest problem here is that you want to develop him as an on-ball guy because that is the way he will achieve like the best version of himself.
Yeah.
Because his best skill is like passing. Like he was the best passer in the draft.
Yeah.
The problem is because you drafted these other guards, Nolan and Seraph, and even Danny Wolf to some extent, because he is also a ball handler. It's like, okay, are you really going to put your 8th pick off the ball and make him be a spot-up shooter and not take advantage of his like best skill? Yeah, because at that point, you might as well have just drafted like Carter Bryant or Noah Senge.
Yeah. Bro, I'm like, as a number 8th pick, he has to be the starting point guard, right? You can't bring your starting point guard. You can't make Nolan Traore your starting point guard. I know people like on Twitter are going to be like, but Nolan has a better handle. Nolan's better at attacking point of attacks. Nolan's better at getting pressured. But it's like for Yegor to get that development, you have to put him at starting point guard, right? Am I wrong with that?
Bro, is it crazy, bro? And is it crazy for us to say what for us not to start our 8th pick over our 19th pick? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what was Sean thinking here?
And we'll get to it like Nolan later when we do his video, but
Yeah.
like Nolan has like even though like I like some of his like processing of building a point guard, like there is a pretty hard ceiling with him, and it is like more harder because he is 5 inches shorter than Igor.
Yeah.
So it's like there's none of the real upside there unless you like really really believe in Nolan, which to me it's like if you believe in Nolan more than your 8th pick, then why'd you draft Igor at 8?
Yeah, that's what I'm that's what I'm trying to confuse. Like, you're hurting these guys because you're hurting each other's development, and if your goal was to, let's say, I don't know, maybe your goal was to just draft best player available. Let's just say that, right? But in the end, when we go to 2026 and we go to 2027, that's when you're gonna have to start building your team construction. Like, you're gonna have to start adding play finishers, adding spacing with shooting, because you're gonna need shooting in the future. You're gonna need scorers. You're gonna
And
need
Evening out your team.
evening out your team.
I
Right?
also want to bring up the other guy because then it's like, oh, Ben Seraph, like his skill is also being like a ball handler in the pick and roll
Yeah.
and being like a transition guy. It's like, is he really you're gonna make him be like a spot up guy too?
Yeah.
Like he shot badly from 3 as well.
Yeah.
And then there's Danny Wolf. Now he did actually shoot kind of well from 3, 34%.
Mm.
But his value is being a pick and roll guy, the ball handler in the pick and roll. Like that is his best skill. Are you really going to make him be like a spot up guy or a post up guy and not utilize that skill? It just I understand what the Nets want. Like they picked like multiple really good passers. Like they got 4 out of the 7, 8 best passers in the draft.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you want to be a team that moves the ball, and the problem is, hey, at some point somebody has to score. Somebody has to score, and somebody has to like fit the archetype of that scoring because like making these guys spot up, like you have to really believe all of these guys have to develop a jump shot. And it's like all these guys like didn't shoot that well from 3. Like basically everyone shot either the low 30s or beneath 30%.
And all of them are really not good defenders. Like, you try to copy the Sam Presti way with the shoot, dribble, pass, and everybody can play make. But the problem is you got guys that can pass and dribble and can't shoot. So it's like, and they're not two-way guys. So it's like they could get attacked on defense. And
Oh, dude, every player in this that we drafted is a bad defender except Drake Powell.
except for Drake. Yeah,
Except Drake Powell.
Yeah, so it's like you gotta get that two-way versatility with your drafting, and that's just my opinion. Like, that's why I'm so upset with how Sean drafted. It's like you weren't versatile with your lineup, you weren't versatile with your drafting. You're gonna hurt these guys' development because it's like somebody has to be the one. Somebody's gonna get all the reps or get majority of the reps. It's gonna be. I just feel bad for Jordy because it's like, what are you gonna do? Split all these reps, and it's just too confined for me. I don't know how to like really like understand this vision that Sean has. But what are you guys' grades for Egor Demin? Again, what do you guys if you had a report card and you had to grade the pick that Sean took Egor at 8, what would you grade what was your first round draft grade for Egor?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it a B-. I'm not gonna go too crazy on it. I'm ultimately, like I said, kind of shocked that we did take the chance on him, but I see the potential. There are ultimately a lot of like different things that he does have to get right without his offensive game, and still like we got to see what he looks like on a defensive level. But I mean, 6'9" guard, and as long as he can truly develop in this system, I mean, it could be scary for the league. Ultimately, it's really crazy to get a 6'9" guard in this league.
Go ahead, Saif. What's your grade?
It's tough because there's the grade of in a vacuum, and then there's the grade of considering like what else they drafted. So I have to give it. Well, what's the lowest grade like I could give?
F.
Okay. Oh, so like a normal school grading system. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd give it a D.
Okay.
I think I give it a D. And look, I'm being harsh there, but here's the thing, though. His floor is really low.
Yeah.
Like, if none of the skills come along, like none of the shot creation, like the defense, rim pressure, shooting. Like if none of that comes along, like he could actually be out of the NBA in like 5 years, which is like insane. That's one of the outcomes for your 8th pick. And then there's like me trying to be bullish on the ceiling, and it's like the absolute ceiling is like maybe Franz Wagner, maybe even Haliburton. But it's like in order for those things to happen, like he needs to get significantly better at things that he is just bad at right now. And look, there's a possibility he could do that. Like I hear he's a high character guy. I hear he's a hard worker, but like he needs to get so much better at the things he's bad at. And look, guys have done it before. Like I do like that he did. He wasn't afraid to shoot it.
Yeah.
So if you're like you're more likely to get better at shooting if you're just not afraid to shoot it. So there are aspects, but I don't know. I could be being too harsh here. Like I could be way lower on his ceiling.
Yeah.
But in order for him to achieve it, like he just needs to get significantly better at scoring the ball, and he's just kind of far away from that. So until I see it, like I have to give it like a D.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry if
That's
I'm being
fair.
like harsh.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, you got to keep it 100, bro. I'm gonna give it a C minus, and I just think, first of all, Sean reached. We all know, the whole world know he reached. I think with the board that was there, the players that were there, I just think Egor was more of a project and more of a risk that you took. Like everybody talks about Senge's upside, and the problem with Senge's upside, he has the upside, but he has a higher floor. Egor has a very, very low floor if it doesn't all put together. Like it's possibly out of the league. Like it's Ben Simmons now kind of low. Like, you know how Ben Simmons lost the athleticism and he doesn't have anything else but just being a good passer and sometimes creating advantage. That's kind of like if Egor is at his worst, and that's what I give that grade. I don't think he should have reached at 8 for that. I thought if you're gonna get up, because there's plenty of good passers in this draft. Like you said, there was at least 4 great passers. Nolan's a great passer. Ben's a good pass. Ben Soroff, even him is a great passer. There's a couple of good passers in this draft, and if you're gonna do it, you could have went at 19 and got your point guard there, and probably got a better, safer pick at 8 and be safe and get a play finisher, or get somebody with still a good upside and still can be a play finisher. I think he should have done that. That's why I give his grade a C minus. I don't think, even though I think Egor has a really good upside, I just think at number 8, it's just no. You can't. Like I said, we won't know until 2 or 3 years down the road. But right now, like after studying the draft and all these draft picks, I'm like, no, you can't do that. There's better talent. There was better talent on the board, in my opinion, than Egor at 8. So that's why I'm gonna give it a C minus.
If Egor if he historically improves, and in a couple years it's like, oh no, this guy's like a legitimate superstar. Like I'll eat my words.
Oh yeah.
And it's always important. It's always important to weigh out the negatives too, though. Like and just and with a pick like this, like ultimately it is number 8. Like you never, with a pick like this, you kind of like never know. Like you're not like you don't have like it's not the greatest spot, but it was a reach.
It's a reach. Yeah, it's a reach. Like I said, we knew at 8 we were going to reach, but like I said, we saw Kama and Malawas fall. Well, not technically fall, but yeah, it did fall. We saw like a Senge. We saw a couple guys fall that have the same type of upside Egor has, but they're less of a project. Their floors are way higher than Egor's.
I gotta hope he reaches that star potential.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let us know in the comments, you guys, how you guys feel about Egor. What grades would you give Egor? What draft grade would you give Egor? Let us know if you think Egor's going to be the face of the franchise. Do you think Sean's going to build around him and him be the guy, or let us know. We'll see you guys in the comments. Follow us on Twitter. Instagram is NetsKingdom1. Appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back.